Hi everybody, this is me, Dan, House of Broken Dobbs Things. I've got a kind of an interesting conundrum here. I'm working on the old mill. Some of you watched back when I was playing around with the drum switch. Well, I've kind of got some space in my calendar now, and I'm going to mount this plate right here, but I've got kind of a hole in the back, and I really am going to have to play heck to line it up. So some of you may have these, some of you may have seen them before, but I'm going to basically show you this transfer screw set. Sorry, camera angle's not real good. Okay, these were made by a little company, the Hyman Manufacturing in Urbana, Ohio. They're out of business now, like so many other good ones. But to give you an idea here, the tool itself has these handy dandy little inserts. So what we're going to do, we're going to transfer the location of where that coupling sleeve is, and we're going to add this in. This is a half 13 thread. Just going to put that into position there, and then I bring this around. There. Don't tell me it slipped. Down just a smidge. There we go, right about there. Transfer. Way more hammer than we need. Okay. And there you have it. Right there. Very nice punch. Now, what I'm doing with this crazy thing is, before I get too far, I'm going to hook up a VFD, get it wired up, but there really wasn't a lot of space on this machine to mount both the VFD, and then I'm kind of a stickler. I put a like a 30 amp circuit box on there as well, just so I have a hard kill switch regardless of the software. Okay, so what I did is, on the top here, to make this little mount, I'll show you. You have the pinch bolts right here to actually clamp the upper ram for the, this is a Rockwell Horizontal Mill. And these screws actually come in, these cap screws come in and stop right about here. So there was dead space in here for the threads. So what I did to make a quick mount, and again, this wasn't meant to be fancy, I didn't fire up the mill or anything else, is I went ahead and cut two short little stubs out of threaded rod. Again, this will not have a lot of weight on it. This is just going to be holding a little panel right in here. Come on out of there. Right in here is that little stub piece that I put in. Just cut it out of threaded rod. It is not butted up against the bolt, so we should be in good shape there. And I just mounted these on here to make this quick little inexpensive platform for it, to allow me to mount stuff and then go up. I did not want to go down specifically below this one, because I'm probably going to be using flood coolant, and I really probably don't want anything to do with the flood coolant and electrical circuits. It's funny because the original box were all low. It's going to be kind of a mess, but I'll show you what they did on the first ones. The main control box down there on the bottom, you see it out there in the front, and you can see around the outside edge, that's the trough for the coolant to drain back. I'm not doing that. I think that's asking for trouble. So instead of going to the low end, I'm going to go up. So I'm going to bring you right back after I punch this other hole and we can mount this little aluminum plate that I've got. I'll be bringing you right back. Okay, I don't think anybody wanted to watch me drill a hole, but I just actually cheated and used a little step drill to get this in place. So you notice I transferred the hole using the transfer screw, and that takes a lot of the pain. Get it out here in the light where you can see it. There you go. If you can find these on eBay, they typically want a mint for them. Once in a while you'll catch somebody with their guard down. There's about, I think, 5 or 6 inserts inside. They are extremely handy. There is Chinese knockoffs out there which are fine, but you know, if you can get the original American made one, they are fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna have to re-level all this later, but I just wanted to share with you what I was messing around with here today. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mount a box up here with a shutoff box, and then I'm either gonna go over the top with the VFD. Okay, just stepping back, I'm going to mount the VFD on here, and I'm probably going to mount the hard shutoff box, which is basically going to be an old hard mechanical switched one, so I can shut it down if something goes really wrong. But I just wanted to share with you that transfer. I know Mr. Pete's covered those. I know some people have actually made their own, which is fine, but if somebody like myself is you know, just goofing off and starting out, if you find them and you see them at a maybe even a flea market or something like that, maybe you'll know what you've got, and then, like I said, they're well worth having. I've got, you know, I don't know, half a dozen or more of them, and I typically don't regret having them. They're especially useful into small sizes. Okay, now there won't be a lot of load on this thing. This is just aluminum plate that I had, but it is going to probably take care of anything that I've got. A couple of things I wanted to do on this one was, one, not tear up the housing or the casting. I didn't want to grind that off because, frankly, there's still a few folks out in the world that think these things are worth a few dollars. So I wanted to leave it absolutely alone, get what I wanted to do, not leave a trace. So you can see that I've got a pretty good standoff here. I can take this off and on and not change anything about the machine, and no one will be the wiser once it goes down and outlives me, because I think this is I think it's the 70s, circa 1970s on this machine. I haven't cross-checked the number on this one, but it is a nice one. It has got rust. It needs some love. I have been very lax in keeping it maintained. Here's its sister, its twin sister. You can see the hot mess I did up here. I can assure you, yes, a light switch works absolutely fine because it's only powering a signal to the VFD. This is a LaPon VFD, a horse and a half. It's way more than I need. It's fine, but it works good. And then I actually am going to use, I used the standard drum switch here, adjusted it inside so it's actually working just like it always did, but it doesn't have any high current. It's only providing a signal. I'm going to do the same thing with this drum switch that you see here. So very early stages, but I just wanted to share with you today what I was goofing off with, making this plate. And again, I can probably get everything I need on here. I haven't sized it up. I may need to do some standoffs and a few things like that, but I think it's going to work really well. I just promised myself I'm going to get this thing running. This machine's far too useful not to have running. It's been sitting here for a couple of years. I'm going to make myself do it, so you all hear me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time when we get a little more done. And before anybody gets real curious, I'm one of the lucky ones with an overarm support, so I can use that. A lot of guys have lost that over the years. But putting this in there, I think I've left myself plenty of clearance. I can't see any reason why I would have any problems with that. So just adding that in for just a discussion topic. There's a very good Rockwell user group out on now on the IO site. Very useful, very nice bunch of guys. Chirpy's Tinkering actually has the hybrid, which is both setups, and I've got the individual machines. He's got one that's a double up, very nice. Safe space saver for him, that he doesn't have to mess with it. And yeah, that's about it. I'll bring you back. Well, several hours later, we're not done. I've got it running. I've got the shut-off set kind of where I wanted it. The VFD was getting kind of crowded, so I extended this back a little ways to give me room for the VFD, and also makes a nice quick transition straight out of this box, straight into that. I need to tidy this one up here. That was the cable that was hanging off of it, but after several hours of playing around with it, I was kind of anxious to see it run. So, it's cold in Michigan, but you can see she's chugging away. The bearings were a little bit clunky and funky when I started it up. That's okay, I just let it run. It's got fresh lube in it, and it really shouldn't be any problem. I'm running at about 20 hertz, so about a third speed, and it's actually just rubbing along just fine. What's coming next is I'll be hooking up the drum switch to give me the forward and reversing function, and then I'll be adding in another shut-off switch. I'm not going to shut it off with this. I want to have an off and on so the VFD can stay powered, but we shut off. There's additional wiring you can add in the circuit box. See that? You see the little green circuit board right there? You can add additional ones. You can do an external potentiometer. You can do an on-off switch, whatever you'd like to do. Works pretty good. I've got it hooked up on my other mill. One thing I will warn you about, if you do hook up an external potentiometer, you want to fuse it. Ask me how. I didn't fuse one. It got a little short in the box when it was going through it, and kapow, blew the VFD. Done. So install a small fuse. It doesn't have to be much. Probably half amp, quarter amp, something like that. Should be more than plenty. Do that. You could inline glass fuse it. You can do a push fuse. It doesn't matter. But just as the words of the wise, do that for your own sake. Other than that, no, I was not too bad. We get this mounted. It's very solid. This door is going to rattle. I have to put a little foam tape or something around there to keep it from rattling. But the VFDs went straight out of the box. I didn't make any setting adjustments right yet because this is not anything weird. When I was working with my Harrison lathe, it has a 208 volt motor. So it would run, and everything was fine, and all of a sudden cease. Oh man. So once I adjusted the voltage down, it's been 3 years now, and I've never had a minute's trouble out of it. So, but this one straight out of the box should be fine. Again, this is a LaPon. If you look at the name on the side, Soyan Power. And there's the model number, if you can see that. And other than that, pretty straightforward. But I haven't loaded it. I've got to clean the table. I've got to put the end plates back on. So I'll have some guiding for the X-axis screw. It's just kind of sitting in there right now. And a lot of cleanup. Dan, why didn't you clean it up before you started? I like to see them run before I spend hours and days and weeks cleaning and scrapping. And no, my tools have to earn their keep before they get any of that beauty treatment. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update on that one. It's running fairly smooth. The bearing noise is calming down. Of course, it really hasn't ran much in the last, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. All right, let's see if we can get a little more out of it. Alright, we're about 35 hertz. You can hear that little hopefully that'll cure itself out. Those are tapered roller bearings in there. I think they may have just taken a little bit of a set. They may clean themselves up. I don't know. I'm not that worried about it at this juncture. We'll let it warm up, clean itself out, and then we'll see. And you can hear that in the head. It sounds like it sounds more than feels like the front bearing, but that's okay. Running it will probably be the best medicine for it. I'm not going to put any load on it, but just let me spin. It is like 24 degrees outside, and this is kind of up against the garage door, so it's basically kind of lubing itself up. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. Worth a try. Okay. You know we have to. That's about 49 hertz. Singing along pretty good.